So it's all for play for still.
I think so. Do you want to bet against us?
Hello, Aston Villa fans, and welcome to For the Love of Bogarde podcast. And we're back to the nitty gritty of things today with a league game. And thankfully, transfer windows is closed, so we can focus on actual things that mean 3 points. And hopefully, that's what Aston Villa get today. But it will be a tough trip to the East Midlands to face Leicester. And we've had an eventful morning, Paddy, between trying to book Oasis tickets and trying to book Champions League flights and trying to convince wives, spouses, partners and mistresses to allow us to go to games. It's been a feckin' slog already, so I'm looking forward to sitting down and watching sport.
It's not over yet, is it? I'm literally stressed to the gills. I've accommodation booked and I'm looking at flights and I'm trying to figure out how many days holidays I have left. Thankfully, the Celtic one is pushed into next year's holiday bracket, so I can take 2 days off and relax instead of coming back at 6 o'clock in the morning to save a day's holidays. So look, that's the big one for us. And what a way it'll be for me and you to be at a Champions League game.
Yeah, and the Celtic one was the only one I could possibly have how would I put it? It's the only one that had the gravitas with the one with the Minister for Finance here that works in my house, so that she could give me a hall pass to go on a midweek game. So, but it's been confirmed. And now the search for tickets commences in earnest. But hopefully, fingers crossed, something comes up. But either way, I'm going to go to Birmingham and watch it because I think it's just going to be for us. Look, I know the Celtic are divisive amongst a lot of the fan base here, potentially because for obvious reasons. But look, for us being Irish, it's probably the only one that we would have dual interest in. So look, it is what it is. And it's going to be a great day. But we'll have to get over Leicester first, Paddy. We could be in an altogether different frame of mind come Celtic on the 29th of January. We're only on the 31st of August yet, and we have Leicester to get over today. Some interesting things in the press conference, Paddy. I don't know whether you listened to much of it, but the fact that Unai Emery, and I know he never seems to be pissed off with anything, really, very much so, but the fact that he name checked the likes of Swinkles and the likes of Bogarde and said, "Yeah, they're part of my squad now," was an interesting one. Specifically when you name checked Bogarde at right back. He's not going to start at right back today, I would imagine, but they're full-fledged senior players now, it would seem.
You would have to think so. Look, I listened to your podcast last night. I was on a move. I actually went to a match, so that's why I couldn't get on. But the one thing that I will say, while everybody was a little bit deflated and worried and anxious, number one, I do believe this is the best transfer window we've ever had. And number two, I don't ever come out of a transfer window and said the words, "I'm delighted with that transfer window." So let's all just take a breath, look at what we have. We've covered nearly all over the pitch, thank God. And we can't run our club into the ground like certain teams are doing. We won't mention any names. But there's got to be serious questions asked about other teams. But there's no questions asked about us. We haven't broken the bank. We haven't broken our wage structure on a Raheem Sterling type signing or a Jadon Sancho type signing. It's just absolutely nuts. But we've got an amazing squad now, and a squad which reflects where we are in our project. So let's get through this season, work our nuts off, give people reason to want to come to Aston Villa, and let's see where we are. If we're still in the Champions League in January, I could see a couple of signings coming in for sure. If we're heading into February without the Champions League and still in Champions League places within the league, then it's something to push on and look for. But we should be so grateful when we look back at the end of the Tony Jaa era, to be sitting here, not even bothered that we're playing Leicester today. We're bothered that we're wondering how we're getting to Leipzig and Bruges and playing Bayern Munich at home and Juventus at home. We should be over the bloody moon here. This is incredible. Absolutely incredible. So you messaged me 20 minutes ago and I was stressed to the gills trying to book flights and sort stuff out. But this is a pleasure. This is an absolute pleasure to be worrying about what we're doing on a Tuesday night in December. That doesn't mean, are we still going to be in the Carabao Cup on a Tuesday night in December? This is, beyond our wildest dreams. So let's be happy with what we have.
Exactly. 100%. 1,000,000%. Because, and look, we won't get into it. It's funny when you go down through Twitter and you kind of come out of the Villa bubble. Arsenal fans are worried about what they're able to put out on the bench today because they've had a lot of outgoings yesterday and they've got a couple of injuries and stuff like that. West Ham fans are going, yes, we had a great transfer window, but we've only got 3 senior centre halves now. Bogarde is gone, went to, was it Sociedad yesterday? So there are other clubs, is what I'm saying, are having the same conversations amongst their fan base. They've had a good transfer window, and then all of a sudden, but they're going, but there's a definite glaring hole here within this part of our team. So look, we'll only focus on ourselves. We'll only concentrate on ourselves, and we only care about ourselves. So it is what it is. The team is out, Paddy.
The team is out, and we have a big surprise. And
we do.
Maybe
I was just saying, I don't expect Bogarde to start, and there he is starting it right back. So interesting one. So let me pop up the team here. The reason that I was feverishly beating away there was my headphones are gone. I can't hear anything, Paddy. If you're talking to me, my headphones are gone. That's what I was saying. That's why I was beating at the screen there to try and change my my audio output, but I can't for whatever reason. So I'll pop up the team here and I'll let you talk.
Okay, well, I suppose the big question here is, does Bogarde play at right centre back and Konza play at right back? We will find out very, very shortly. Well, an hour and 15 minutes away. I expect Bogarde to play at right back. And other than that, it's as you were. We put in a good performance last week. I'm busy looking through. Must be somebody missing off the bench because we have 2 goalkeepers on there. And still Spinkles is there. So Barkley, Buendia, Ramsey, Duran, Nedeljkovic, Matson. Who's missing? I'm not sure if you can hear me.
Diego Carlos, Matty Cash.
Diego Carlos and Matty Cash. Okay. Was Carlos on the bench last week?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I'm 99% certain he was on the bench last week. I'm sure there's someone else. Is Barkley there? Yeah, Barkley's there. Onana starts. Yeah. Yeah, so the big one here is Bogarde at right back. What does he see here? And this is superb. This actually ties in, Paddy, to my glass half full analogy, or my glass half full soliloquy that I was talking about last night. And this isn't me trying to be right or anything. I went from both sides of the spectrum last night because I thought it was only fair to speak that way because there are concerns over what we didn't back up. No Philogene, well done, good man, Dan. No Philogene there, which is interesting. So we will now get to see if Bogarde is what Unai thinks he is, because he's put him in there over an 18-year-old right back that he brought on last week against Arsenal. So, this is going to be really interesting. You live by the sword, die by the sword type of decision here, I think.
Well, in fairness, I think at this stage he is comfortable in that he knows Nedeljkovic can do a job. Yeah. Is this the day if he's going to blood Bogarde in the Premier League? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So be it. This is the day that we should go and win a game. We haven't seen the Leicester team, obviously, but I'm saying comfortably as in, they shouldn't really lay a glove on us. But we're open to that changing by 4:45 this evening. But this is the day where you put players in to see if they can do this. That's my opinion on it. This is the team that's expected to finish bottom of the league this year that we're playing against. So why not? Give them the go. We've got plenty of ammunition in attack to keep them on the back foot, and it should be one of the days where he has a quieter day.
Yeah. What have I done? Sorry, my whole screen just went off there. I'm having awful tech difficulties here at the minute. So look, looking at that team, it's very much as we would expect. The man in the photograph there is our secret weapon. He won't be very secret for very long. If he continues to play like he did against Arsenal, I'd like to see him get on the score sheet, and I'd also like to see our number 11 get in the score sheet as well, because I think that's going to be really important for today. That's a side piece as well today. Just obviously, look, just to get scoring again, you always want your striker to score. Not that I have any particular doubts about him in any way, shape, or form. Let's take a look at the Paddy. If you want to start typing up there, I'll find the Leicester team. So because you usually type up and put the ticker at the bottom, and it's very handy. So I will go find it. Yeah, somebody else that I'm looking forward to seeing today as well is I'm hoping we see a bit more of him again. He's been a bit, I won't say subdued, but like I think he's doing a job for the team out there, on that left hand side as Rodgers kind of tucks in more alongside Ollie Watkins. But I kind of want to see a small bit more from him there, and maybe he gets that opportunity to go in a bit more central today. But that would be nice to see. Today. Let's bring up the Leicester team, and I have it here. And they have gone with somebody I wasn't sure whether they would go with. But here's the Leicester lineup. We have Hermanson in goals, Justin, Okole, and Faze. I thought they would go with Vestergaard, but they're going to go with young Hulk of a man as well, Caleb Okole, Italian underage international, and a man before his time. They have Christensen at left back. We thought that potentially maybe Ricardo might go in there. They have Winks, Skip, and Didi, so they've gone to consolidate that middle of midfield. No Buonate in there, and they've gone with Ayew, Fatu, and Vardy. So they're going to press the living daylights out of us up top. They're going to try to beat our high line, and Steve Cooper has literally just lifted his game plan from Forest and planted it down the table in the King Power and said, let's fit people into this plan. That's what this looks like to me.
Yeah, and look, me and you are both big fans of Steve Cooper. He's a really good guy. I've met him on a number of occasions. As I've said previously, this is going to be a difficult team to beat. I can't tell you too much about Okole. I thought that was something you got from eating the dodgy pieces of chicken, but I don't know anything about him. And obviously in the pre-match, I said that the issue for them was at centre half. Maybe he strengthens it. I absolutely don't know. Or sorry, in the back line. I still think we can get at our fullbacks. I still think Justin and Christensen are going to have one hell of a day today, marshalling Rodgers and Bailey. So look, they're strong in attack, but how they're going to get the ball to Vardy, Fatu, and Ayew as well, which no doubt be coming back baying for blood to try and haunt us today. It's not going to be an easy one, but you still would expect us to go and win this game.
And the thing with that, they've gone very attacking on the bench. Like realist, I know Declan Reid can play on the right back role or if he's needed to, but they've gone with like Ricardo, Vestergaard, and Samare are probably their three most defensive options there. And then they've Buonate, Declan Reid, newly soon to be new Irish international McAteer in there as well, El Canis, and then Mavididi in there as well. So they could easily change their front three and bring Buonate, El Canis, and Mavididi on at 60 minutes after Ayew, Fatu, and Vardy have ran us ragged or tried to press the living daylights out of us. And they're bringing on two players who can really press in the likes of Buonate and Mavididi as well. So
whatever about Fatu running us ragged, 37-year-old Vardy and 32-year-old Ayew will have an even more difficult job if they're going to. I don't envisage a high press. I would imagine early in this game we're going to see our back four and Emi Martinez standing on the football a lot, looking up to see how they go and break this down. But you put Ayew or Vardy on the end of one of Fatu's balls or passes, then we could be in trouble. So we need to be tip top here, and look, get ourselves ahead early and boss the game. And once you go ahead against a Steve Cooper team, then you're in the pole position because you're dictating how they've got to play the game from then on. But if we go ahead early, their game plan won't change until the second half. So we've got to be patient. We've got to look to try and unpick that lock. And God knows we've plenty of talent to do that.
Yeah, a couple of people saying here that it looks like it's a massive low block from Everton today. Like, I don't think so. I think and look,
From
obviously
Everton?
you've got a bank of three in the middle, but I think that's more so to spread us out wide, to make sure that Ayew stays wide, make sure Fatawu stays wide, and stays out there. That if we are owning the ball, that they hug the touchline. Like, who was it that got that goal? Was it Elanga last year for Forest, when essentially they just stayed out wide and the ball was just hoofed up and they were as wide as they could possibly be. There was chalk in their boots and they just cut in, took the ball and scored. Can't remember who it was last year. It might have been Elanga, could have been Gibbs White. I can't remember who it was. But just it was an annoying goal. And like that's what Ayew can do. That's what Fatawu can do. And Vardy can do that through the middle as well. And there will definitely be
that goal, was it?
Who was it?
It was the full back scored the goal for
It
Forest.
was. Yeah, name escapes me.
Can't remember his name. Somebody will keep us in the comments.
In the comments, yeah, exactly. Yeah. But what I was saying there is there will definitely be an altercation between Martinez and Vardy at a corner today. There is no bookie that will give me odds on that. And it is guaranteed money that the two of them will start jawing at each other, or they will be pushing. Know that's exactly who it was. I think, yeah, that's who it was. But the two of them will start pushing. There will be jawing. There will be a bit of bad blood between the two of them for whatever reason, just because the two of them are shithouses. But I hope that Emmy doesn't get a stupid booking for something like that, because like everyone's calling it. Like it's as obvious as the nose on your face and my face, should I say, that Vardy is going to try and wind up somebody who can be wound up and who likes to wind people up themselves. So that's one thing I don't want to see. But going back to the centre half they have there, Okoli is he played against, I've said this numerous times before, he played against Ireland. I can't remember whether it was under 19s or under 21s. I think it was under 19s. And that's where I first saw him. And he was only 17. And like literally to say he was a man playing under 19s football at 17 years of age was like he was a specimen on the field in comparison to everybody else that was there. And he was brilliant. Now, obviously, big guy in a underage game can obviously stand out a small bit more. His development has been kind of slightly stunted at Atalanta. Went out on loan last year. I can't remember who it was, and now he's ended up at Leicester as well. But is really well thought of in the Italian setup. Really well thought of. So
played a
very
full
interesting.
Season of Frosinone last year at centre half.
Yeah.
I know that they went down, didn't they, Frosinone?
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
But like, you know, he played 17 times at centre half for Atalanta the year before, so he's no mug. Absolutely no mug, and a big unit of man. 191 centimeters. What's that? In all money?
6'4" anyway. I'd say taller than me. Yeah. For sure. But
taller than me and you put together, Neil.
Put together, probably. Yeah, put together. But look, I think today. I think the big resounding piece from today is it's not going to be a walkover. It certainly won't be, and it'll be no game in the I think the Premier League is strong this year. It's way stronger than it was last year. There were some poor teams in the Premier League last year, but I think the Premier League has strengthened from 20 to 11, and probably more than it's strengthened from 10 to 1. If that makes sense, because a lot of the big teams didn't make a massive amount of signings. Like Liverpool didn't make it. They made Chiesa. That's pretty much it. Chelsea, yes. Man United made 1 or 2 signings. City got the band back together, essentially. That's all they did, So it's arguable that the bottom half of the league, specifically the promoted teams, again, have probably strengthened that bottom half of the league. So no, obviously every team we have to go out there and we have to beat them, and there's no gimmies. Certainly not this one here, because they have the bullets to wound us for sure in this game.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure you heard me when your earphones went down that time. I asked the question: is there any possibility that Konza plays at right back and Bogarde plays centre half today?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. It's just that there's a few people asking that in the comments.
And the reason I don't think so is because Emery specifically mentioned it yesterday.
At right back, yeah.
specifically
He
mentioned it.
gave us a hint that we didn't hear.
Yeah, and like I suppose, look, Paddy, and I know it's probably the only Sunday League stuff or whatever that you've managed or that I've ever been involved in, and where do you put the player that you're least sure of in the back line? You put him in right back, you put him in left back, So it's that's probably the way that works at senior level as well, Put the young fella in right back. If he's good enough, he'll make his way into the centre half position, or into midfield, probably in this day and age. It's interesting. I'm really looking forward to seeing him now. Really am.
Yeah. I think without being a cocky person, he's a really cocky footballer. So he's really well liked in the dressing room. The players are absolutely mad about him, and by all accounts, they're all real excited to see what he can do in the future. So it's going to be an interesting afternoon for sure, and I really wish him well, because look, if we are looking back here in December, we won't be talking about Gertrude if he has a brilliant start to the season. That's the thing, and that's what irks me about the likes of selling Omari Kellyman. I'd love to be talking about these guys coming in, but of course the absolute bullshit PSR rules have us in this mess that we're in. But hopefully Bogarde can really push on, and who knows, maybe we'll have to sell him for 50 million in
and that's what I was saying last night in the exactly, and that's what I was saying last night in the transfer window roundup, was like, it's a long shot, but maybe Villa are due to have two very good academy players come out of nowhere that saves us 60 million quid, that we maybe would have spent. Damien L says, so we already have a Dutchman to play centre back and right back. Look, it's probably a 1% chance that both Svinkel's been Dutch as well, both Svinkels and Bogarde actually push on, become relevant squad players within this team, and allow us to sell somebody off. But if that happens, the implications for PSR are absolutely huge. They're brilliant. So
yeah,
it is fanciful when I talk about it, but we'll feckin' find out today, won't we? Now that we've got Bogarde there.
Yeah. Philly is asking there, is Costa injured or not fancied?
Not fancied.
I think it's neither. I think it's a case of we need to get Premier League minutes under the belt for this guy, and today's the day to do it, and he obviously trusts him to go and do it. If the game needs to be chased, what better man to have to come on and run at these or try and break into the box or get on the end line to get across. Like, he's got so much in his locker that we could use him as an impact sub with half an hour to go, 20 minutes to go. So absolutely fine with him sitting this out. Also keeps him fairly grounded. Remember that? That's important in the modern day, because I'm sure all week he said to himself, I'm a shoe-in now with cash out. So he needs to be reminded and grounded that there's a Champions League game coming up in a few weeks. You need to keep your head together or you're going to miss out on that. Also, look, we've got to call a spade a shovel here as well with regards to this. Bogarde's been at the club since 2020. He's 4 years at the club. He's been in and around the first team last year. Yes, he's gone out on loan and stuff like that. Emery knows him inside out. He definitely knows more about his game. And and Jelkovic has just come into the team as well. Also, he's Winston Bogarde's nephew. There's breeding in there that knows how to play the position. And it's for me, there's little things like that you can poo-poo that. You can say, oh yeah, just because he's Winston Bogarde's nephew, Winston Bogarde sat out at Chelsea. He was the first person that sat in his hole and just took all the money or whatever like that. He was a damn good footballer. Absolutely great footballer. Might have had a small bit going on upstairs at some stage or whatever, but he's a brilliant footballer. And either that or he was very bloody clever upstairs.
Probably very clever upstairs. Yeah. He probably saw the writing on the wall at Chelsea at that stage, that he was like, screw this. And they got him out of Barcelona, if I'm not mistaken, at the time, and they bought him out of his contract as opposed to actually, I think anyway, we won't get into it. But there's breeding in Lamar Bogarde, as we say here in Ireland, and we're going to see it today. We're going to see if he looks out of place, or if he looks every bit an inch of a Premier League footballer today. And I'm all for it, because we'd be saying the same thing about Kostin Jelkovic today, starting for the first time. Yes, he came on against West Ham. Yes, he got 74 or 5 odd minutes against against Arsenal. But today will be another birth for him in his first full debut, his first full cap for Ireland, if you want to call it that, or for Aston Villa, for Ireland. That'll be some turn up for the books. There aren't too many Nedeljkovic's around my way, although there could be. I just haven't come across them. But I mean for Villa anyway. And Lamar Bogarde's going to get that today. So more power to him. More power to him.
I'm not sure if you realise this, Neil, but the comments are just flowing in there. I haven't got the match in front of me, but apparently Declan Rice has been sent off and Arsenal are drawing 1-1 with Brighton. So rather than everybody just keep saying it, I just decided to announce it. I don't know how he was sent off. Two yellow cards. But anyway,
2 yellows. My father's inside watching it. My father actually, when we watch games together, just here beside watching TV, just up here. We usually have a good record, so I don't want to jinx it today, but just bear that in mind when you're coming with your score predictions. And I think we're probably there, Paddy, because look, once again, it's like the team sheet. There's no real tantrum here. I think this is excitement. This is what we have to look forward to. You know, for the coming year, we can't buy in any more players. Yeah, we might. There'll be some. Tanswell says that Jen Philogene out due to injury. Yeah, maybe so. We'll see what the situation is there. And you know what? In a roundabout way, if Philogene is out due to injury, that potentially in time will give an opportunity to Caden Young, somebody who the club really thinks of as well. But
this just made my day.
Tapped away the ball away before a free kick taken. Paddy, brilliant. You don't see those second yellows given to Arsenal, Liverpool, Man United, and Chelsea, do you?
No. No, man. And you know what? I'm glad that's happened to someone of that profile, because I'm sure he was very petulant after it happened. How dare you do that to me? How dare you do that to England's Declan Rice?
Well, in fairness, of a lot of the players that are in the Premier League, Declan Rice is one that doesn't seem to be too far. I know what's gone on with the Ireland-England thing, but he does seem to be pretty grounded more than a lot of others. But you're right. It's a case of sometimes they're ref the shirt as opposed to the actual situation. And, you know, if a Villa player got sent off today for it, I would be spitting feathers. But at the end of the day, it's probably the right thing to do. If you're doing it for one team, you need to do it for everybody. And we'll see what the outcome of that is. There's only 12 minutes left in the game anyway. I'm looking at it here. So, guys, if you want to start popping in your score predictions there. Oh my God, we've got 666 people watching. I don't know whether that's an omen, a poor omen, or if anybody's superstitious with regards to that.
I think there's something there. Yeah, you've changed. I think there's something about that figure, because that pops up an awful lot in that
yeah, maybe it is.
The screen.
Yeah, the mark of the beast. Maybe. I can't get away from it. But you see, there was something else I was going to say there. Yes, Digne over Maatsen again. I'm not surprised about that. I know in the week gone, I listened to a lot of preview shows for this game. And we spoke about it as well. There seemed to be this growing kind of, this is the one Maatsen comes in for. But I was never 100% sure on it, because the international break seems like the perfect time to make the change. Now, Ian Maatsen has been called up for the Dutch under-21s for whatever reason. He's been demoted from the senior squad to the 21s. And I'm sure Emery, just like he wasn't happy with Morgan Rogers being called up, because Rogers should be in the senior squad, given who else was called up, I suppose, recently. I presume internally he's kind of spitting about Ian Maatsen being called up to the Dutch under-21 squad. But another person who has not played in the Premier League, if I'm not mistaken, or sorry, had not played in the Premier League, but obviously played in the Champions League, so we'll need integration into the squad. And look, Digne ain't a problem. We'll go watch him have a stinker today now after I said it, but he hasn't been a massive problem for us. Albeit that I do think Maatsen has obviously got way more potential within this team. Specifically, if you're playing somebody like Bogarde, I think there might be a situation there where we do bring Maatsen on maybe earlier than we have previously, because of the fact that Bogarde can switch in. He's more like Konza, obviously, becoming that right centre back, playing as a right back, if that makes sense, like Unai Emery did last year. So it does make a small bit more sense to play him out there when you think that he's more used to that role than maybe Nedeljkovic is as well. So that back line is probably fluid enough, and will be, I suppose, if Maatsen comes on. I think it will be as well. So interesting one to look at through the 90 minutes. Paddy, who's going to win today?
Villa are going to win today with a remarkably comfortable 2-0 win. First clean sheet of the season. Is that correct? No, we had a clean sheet the first day, didn't we?
No, 2-1.
2-1 was it? Okay, yeah. I'm going 2-0 today, and I have a sneaky suspicion that we're going to see a rebirth of Ollie Watkins heading into
Brilliant.
the international break before he destroys Ireland next week.
So, doing a round-up, Rangers going with 4-0 with Tielemans, Watkins, Bailey and Ramsey scoring. Dermot Brown, good to see you. Dermot is going with 3-1 Villa. Brendan Miller is going with 2-0 to Villa. 3-0 says Junior, and Rachel is going with 2-0, as is Dusty. John Steele going 4-0. Raphael is going with 3-1 Villa. Leslie is going with 2-1 Villa. Matt Hans going 3-0. Luca is going with 2-1. Sai is saying 3-0 and winning it in a canter. Andrew Hansard says 4-0. Dream Villain says 4-1 Villa. 3-0 says Stephen Brown to the Villa. Carlo Weathers going 2-1 to the Villa, as am I. 3-1 says Rob Henry. Flange is going with 3-1 Villa. Celina is going also with 3-1, and Spud is going 3-1 Villa. Karma Baby 9-1 to Villa. That would be one. There was some supercomputer that predicted it'd be 7-1 to Villa today. Did you see that? I saw that. I don't know the Bardell.
I'll take that.
Yeah, I'll take that. I'll take that. All right, for sure. Sean Green is going for a Watkins hat-trick and a 4-0 win. Jason O'Brien is going with 2-1. David Dwyer is going with 2-1 as well. Spencer is going with 4-0. 3-0 says Tyra. Richie Ryan is going 3-1 Villa. Captain Nugget 2-0 Villa. Bear in the Garden is going with 4-1 Villa. I very nearly said Bear in the Big Blue House because that's the stage of my life I'm in at the moment. 5-1 says Dickie. Damien L says 2-0. 2-1 says Jason O'Brien, and Jason O'Brien says 1-2. Then afterwards, it's like you testing the mic. 1-2, 2-1, 1-2, 1-2, 2-1. Michael Richards is going with 2-0, and the Collins going 2-1 Villa. Jason O'Brien is going 2-1 Villa. He comes back in for the third one. Techno. I do this every time. Techno is going for 2-0. Ozgerm is going for 2-0. Tom is going 6-0. 5-3 says Richard Parks. Rex is going for 2-1. David is going 2-0. Just Roy is going for 3-1 Villa. Matt Kay going 3-0 Villa if it wants to go up and screen. Tom is saying 2-1. Stephen Wright is going for 6-0. Matt Dawson's going 5-0. Derek is going for 2-0 Villa. 3-1 says Christopher Cummings. 10-0 says Richard Knowles. And Emma Wood 7-0. Jason O'Brien going for 2-1. John the Jenny, good man, John. Hope you're doing well. 3-0 to Villa. Global Pilot says 3-0 as well. Richard Park says Rogers is going to score 4. 5-2 says Textra. 4-1 says Duncan. Mark Willis says 2-1. Seamus says 3-0 to Villa. Where are we? 17-0 says Johnny Boy. And last but not least is Mike Collins, who says a 2-0 Villa win. Yeah.
You need a breath after that.
Group. I love it. Philly D's in with 2-0. And Dan Downey, the great Dan Downey, is in with 2-1 to Aston Villa. Philly was in with 2-0 Leicester, and I forgot that. It was 6-0 Villa. Okay, we'll take that one. I think this is a big one as well, as Sai says there. I would love an Aston Villa win today, as I say again. I don't care if we go 38 games and we win by the ball going in off John McGinn's arse every single time. I have no care in the world about style points. But as Sai says today, I think another big thing is no injuries, please. No injuries. Thank you very much. The injury gods we don't need. We don't need anymore. So that'll be fine. Thanks a million, everyone, for joining us. That was a brisk 33, nearly 34 minutes there. So I really appreciate your time. We will be back bang on full time to chat to you guys again and to round up, I suppose, everything that's gone on with Aston Villa and Leicester. So hope you'll join us there as well. And so get yourselves all set with these shorter, or these, what am I saying, these the change to the time of the team sheet announcing with way more time before the game. So I found myself kind of struggling to find something to do with the next 45 minutes, but I'm sure I'll find something to do, and I hope you guys do too. So yeah, we'll see you again back here at about 5 to 5. And until then, everybody, stay safe, stay healthy, and all that's left to say is up the Villa.
Up the Villa.